Second. Oh, Commissioner Keith.
Real quick, as most of you know from the meeting the other day, I appreciate the job Mr. Roberts is doing out there. I appreciate the direction that landfill's going. I have had a very difficult time for many, many years with the contract that we have for our methane gas, and I understand that these are two separate issues. I understand that completely. But I have to go on the record at somehow or another for us to get some movement on that. So although I will not be supporting this, I understand what you're doing, and I just hope that we can take this and the person that has the contract, that we can leverage these new standards for methane gas, and that we can get another contract. So please do not take any offense to my vote on this. I think you're doing a great job. I do.
All right. All those in favor?
Voting in favor, Commissioners Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioners Council Lancaster and Booth. Voting in opposition, Commissioner Keith.
Okay. The chair at because he is the chair, he's gonna take a 5-minute, just a 5-minute break, I think, some people, I was hearing something.
I get too much water.
Is the camera on?
Glenn's got to go to Winston-Salem. He said he could be there in 2 hours, and I told him, you better get an attorney, so you can get
No,
a
he'll do
speeding
it.
ticket.
No, he'll do that. You can do it. 2 hours. That 220, 85 South loop. Yeah.
That's what it's talking.
That 85 loop at night, you'll be able to fly through that.
What are you talking about? Oh, what's the sailing?
Oh, I see. You know what Kelly's done now?
Going up,
She's
you
cut
told
the
me you
air
were
off.
going up there for.
Kelly's cut the air off. Hoping that that'll get us just
Save
good.
the money.
Well, if you leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. When I have to go there for an appointment, when I. Did we forget something?
I'll call this meeting back to order. Consideration of a contract amendment for construction management services and approval of the budget ordinance. Madam
Yeah.
Manager or Mr.
Mr. Jackson.
So just by way of introduction, and we discussed this briefly previously, but I'll let Mr. Roberts go into more detail here in just a second. But basically, we have a need to, and of course, we're already expanding the sales at the landfill. There's a need to have more direct involvement and expand the contract for that service. So what we're looking at tonight is requesting approval for engineers CDM Smith, or contract amendment in the amount of $520,665 for construction management services of those sales that are being done. And to approve budget amendment ordinance B180029 in the amount of $306,523, utilizing solid waste fund balance to increase engineering fees. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Roberts to give us some background.
Okay, we are expanding at the landfill. We're expanding sales 9 and 10, and currently, from a quality assurance and quality control standpoint, we have to have the engineering on record. The engineering on record is CDM Smith. They was our current engineer at the time of the contract, and they did all of the bidding, negotiating, and they oversee all of the quality assurance and quality control for the cell construction. We can't complete the project without CDM Smith's oversight from a technical standpoint. Some of the submittals, geological, all of the liners, and the exact build. So for those services, it's going to cost $520,000, and we are requesting the use of budget ordinance B180029 in the amount of $306,000.
Thank you. Commissioner Booth beat you to the, Mr. Commissioner Booth.
Yeah. How long is the contract with CDM Smith for this overseeing?
So the oversight will be done in April of 2018. The contract was started July 5th, and both sales constructions will be done by April of 2018.
Commissioner Council.
All right, this came before our committee, and you keep in mind the questions that were asked about by Mr. Keefe. All right, you got those in mind?
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we approve the CDM Smith contract amendment in the amount of $520,665 for construction management services, and we approve budget amendment ordinance B180029 in the amount of $306,523, utilizing solid waste fund balance to increase the engineering fees.
Is there a second?
Second.
And then Commissioner Booth had some discussion.
Yeah. So, since this was started in July, was this in the last budget we just haggled over?
No, sir, it was not in the last budget. Reason being, it was it was budgeted in 2014, as it states in the memo. It was budgeted in 2014, not expecting, it was budgeted for $425,000 in 2014, but the oversight, the actual oversight for the QA and the quality assurance and quality control was not anticipated that year in 2014,
Okay, so they'll work through, you said
2018.
2018, and then is the contract bid out each year or each 4 years, or what is?
No, sir. The cell construction will be finalized in April of 2018. CDM Smith is just doing the quality control and quality assurance. They will no longer be our
Okay, so once the
engineering firm.
contract ends at it,
Yes,
that's it,
yes,
okay.
sir.
And are they local? You said we've used them before. I didn't know if they're local or they,
CDM Smith has been the solid waste consultant for 20-plus years.
okay. Thank you. That's all I got.
These are enterprise funds, aren't
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
they? So these come off of,
Yes, sir.
all those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Gerard. Consideration of request for review of the Public Health Department. I call on Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I ask that this item be added to our agenda in light of the unfortunate mismanagement of mammogram and pap smear information that occurred at our Public Health Department. As you are all aware, I continue to be concerned with what happened and the impact that it continues to have on a very vulnerable part of our community. I am appreciative of all the work that was done by management, by our staff, and by our internal auditor in getting to the root of the problem that existed in that program. And I am also glad that our interim health director, Mr. Jenkins, continues to keep us abreast of his department's ongoing efforts to contact all of the women who were not contacted in the past. However, I believe that it is critical that we as a board do all that we can to ensure that our health department is the best that it can be. I think we owe it to our citizens, to our staff, and to ourselves to show that we are accountable and committed to continuous improvement of our services and programs at the health department. Considering the fact that we are in a time of leadership transition and at the beginning of a great new partnership with Stedman Wade to expand clinic services for the public, I believe the timing is right for an external quality assurance review for the health department. I will seek the support of this board in charging our county manager with identifying an appropriate external organization or firm to conduct such a review. In making this request, I want to make it plain. This is not a witch hunt, and I have no personal agenda in requesting this. My sole motivation is making sure that we restore public trust in the services and programs at our health department and that we are able to move forward in the recruitment of new leadership for a solid foundation. Mr. Chairman, I would be more than happy to answer any questions from my fellow commissioners about this request, and I will hope that we could have some discussion on this issue. I understand that there have been some other counties in the state that have had similar quality reviews done, and I would like to request that our county manager bring back to the policy committee a report listing those counties and what external organizations conducted their reviews.
All right, thank you so very much, and I think county manager has, or staff has their marching orders on that. So thank you so very much. So we will go to nominations to board and
Whoa,
committees.
whoa, whoa,
Wait a
whoa,
minute.
whoa. Whoa. Is that a motion?
No, it wasn't a
No, it's
motion
not a
It was a
motion.
request?
Yes,
to bring it to policy, just to bring him some information to policy.
to bring the board some information to the policy.
Yes. On some other counties that have had external, just to bring that information back to the policy committee. That's what I got from what he read. I hadn't heard it till he just read it, but that was my understanding.
So any commissioner can just tell the staff to go do anything they want, and that's how it works?
Well, you know what, Mr. Keefe, the one thing about it as far as policy is concerned.
You're the policy chair.
I'm the policy chair, and that's what I'm getting ready to say. We all have the right
You can put it on the
to put
agenda, I
anything
mean.
on the agenda.
Right.
But what I'm asking is that we, as a board, consider this. This is an issue that has been going on for a while, not to mention other issues that have been going on with the health department, and not trying to make them look bad. or anything of that nature, but trying to make sure that the community understand that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in order to to build their confidence and trust in our health department. These individuals that use this health system are those individuals that are sometimes very unfortunate, and that's the only place they have to go. And if we're not making sure that it's taken care of, or that they are assured that it's in their best interest to continue to utilize the health department, then we're at fault for that.
Well,
Mr. Keith?
thank you, Mr. Chair. I mean, I think most of our service departments are geared towards helping those most unfortunate in our community. From the social services department, our animal control works on some of these things. Of course, our public health, our mental health board, all of these have had issues too.
Well, it's a different thing when you talk about somebody's life, though.
Yes, sir, you're exactly right.
And I can assure you that if one of us had a family member that was going through some of the issues that these individuals visiting the health department have, we would do everything in our power to make sure that they got the best services possible. And that's what I'm asking for. And to further state what I'm stating is that it's obvious that the services that's been given, especially with the mammogram and the pap smears, were not good quality services, because they would have been notified from the outset that they had that some of them probably had issues that needed to be dealt with. And you know, like I know, that this occurred when? In 2015? It started in 2015? And here it is now, 2017.
And since that time, that same department at our health department has achieved accreditation and awards for that department. These are 4-year-old programs that we understand that there was an issue, and staff has worked internally at trying to find this, and everybody's working now. But that department has earned many awards for their service since that time.
Okay, and Mr. Keefe also, yes, I hear about accreditation, but we don't want to talk about that too much because we had a problem with the health department on that. And so what I'm saying is, before we continue to move forward, let's give the citizens the benefit of the doubt that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing at their health department, and make sure that notifications are made, that they receive the test that they're supposed to receive and get the results in an adequate time and good timing. And this has been proven this has not happened. So I can understand why it would be, and I really did want to get into this.
Well-
But the thing is, I just can't understand why we wouldn't want
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, let me just clarify, I think, and I know something, that I do not believe, and I think it might just been a misstatement, the quality of service was not bad and was not poor. In terms of notification, that's a different thing. But the quality of service there's never been any debate about that. It was, from 2015, I wasn't here back then, it was the notification of that service. Commissioner Booth.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Evans on the fact that the more knowledge you have and the more information you have, you can avoid circumstances, whether it's a notification, mailing systems, who dropped the ball. You can't go wrong with that, but I am trying to figure out what are the parameters of his request. I mean, is it, who's gonna respond to him? Is it gonna be Amy's job too, Tracy's, everybody's, just the current, new director, which apparently, he seems content with? I mean, who's gonna report back to you and in what fashion?
No, sir, I had asked that this be, I asked the manager to look into finding individuals that would give such a, exam of the health department and come to the policy committee and tell us about it, and we discuss it further, and
Okay.
hopefully move forward with this.
I have no problems with always discussing. I'm with you. I have no problem with discussing.
So I think there's some consensus as to.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. then
I'm
Commissioner
sorry.
Council. No,
I'm sorry. As a voting member of the Health Board, my substitute motion is that
well,
you
there was
are,
never a motion made.
oh, there
It was
wasn't a
just
motion.
There's not a
Well,
motion
whatever.
on the floor. There's not a motion on the
A
floor.
request,
Yep.
because
That
I
was
don't
just-
know
yeah.
what will.
That was just.
Our meeting is tomorrow night, and I'll be happy to
bring that forward.
bring that forth, okay? At the Board of Health meeting on tomorrow night.
Okay.
And we appreciate that, Commissioner
All right.
Council.
All right. That takes us to number 10, nominations to boards and commissions. Transportation Advisory Board, we got 3 vacancies.
All right, I have nominations of Ms. Barbara, the appointment of Sharon Batten, Tracy Honeycutt, and Dana Davis.
Are there any other nominations? All right, appointments to boards and committees.
Yeah.
Vice Chair, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There being an equal number of vacancies and nominees, I move to appoint Sharon Pingator to the Animal Control Board and Paige Ross and Brian Tyler to the Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
I will take a motion to go into closed session for
So
attorney-client.
moved.
I would move pursuant to 143, 318, 11A3.
That's all. We took B off.
That's right.
All right. Got a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, it's been moved in second that we go into closed session. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
All right, we're going to closed session. Motion to go out of closed session?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn?
Move.
So moved.
Second.
Unanimous.
Hey.
It's so cold.